Hello, everyone. This is Salty Saint Nick over here. We're going to be doing another Strixhaven draft today. So far, my record for the time being has been I have done Lorehold twice, and only one video is up right now. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to try and do about that, but I think it might just be lost to the void of time, and I've done one Witherbloom. The Witherbloom draft was pretty crazy. If you want to check that out, you can go check my channel out over on YouTube. You'll be able to find that video there. But for the time being, I think we're going to go get ourselves started for a draft right now. So, Premiere Draft. Let's start her up. I already switched all my stuff over to the Witherbloom. I've been playtesting some stuff in the background to make sure that everything's coming up good with regards to I've been trying out a Witherbloom deck on my free time. I currently have it in a junk configuration for some classic sacrifice shenanigans. Alright, we got D-Spark and a land. This pack one isn't very impactful, but I think the Spark is pretty good, especially in limited, just because you're more than likely going to see permanent of mana cost 4 or higher. So I think I'm fine with just snapping this pack one. The land's not going to do me much, and if you saw my video for regards to Lorehold Excavation, it was a good card, except for the fact when it milled my lands, I think, like 3 or 4 times when I needed them at end step. Alright, we got Defiant Strike, Thunderous Orator. I think I will grab Combat Professor here, just because this card is pretty bomb when you're able to get it down. It sticks around for a turn or two, and it can even target itself, so you can just have a 3/3 flyer with Vigilance. I'm having some weird audio issues on my side. I'm having like random reverberation on my side, which is super weird. So I'm not keen at this point in time. I'm not really stuck into doing white for the time being. I can kind of switch over to black if I want to and play some sort of 3-color deck if I feel like that's necessary. Pilgrim of Ages, Cram Session, Expanded Autonomy. I think I'll probably grab Reduced to Memory. It's a pretty decent lesson I can have in the sideboard to deal with some problematic permanents, so I think we'll be good to go in that avenue. Claim the Firstborn, Explosive Welcome, Access Tunnel, Guiding Voice. Ooh, they're Spiteful Squad, though. Even though it's a 4 mana of Death Touch, if I have a creature out before this dies, I can virtually have a pretty problematic attacker and blocker that they have to deal with, and then if it dies, I can put it onto something else, so it's not that bad. I think I'll probably take that, because Promising Death Mage is okay. I think it's probably more reliable of a threat to have. Alright, we have Fracture, Defend the Campus. I think probably, I mean, another Reduced to Memory would be fine here, but I think overall, I think I probably want to start picking up some more creatures, and Alden Shield Mage is pretty annoying to deal with, having a 3/3 flyer that they have to pay 3 life to even target. Alright. So, funny story, in the first draft that I played, I picked up this card and thought that when it gets to 10 counters, you win the game, but actually, once it has 10 counters on it, and you deal combat damage to an opposing player, that's when you actually kill them. So, read the card, and reading a card explains the card. Probably just gonna take Pledge Mage here. There's not really anything else that I can really splash into for the current time being, so Pledge Mage should be fine. I see the classic. Someone like halfway through is kind of taking a long time. Alright, we got Stone Rain. Don't destroy my lands. That'd be not fun. So the only real options I have to work with right now is either Cram Session, Detention Vortex, and Promising Dust Mage. Detention Vortex is, while it's good, it's somewhat problematic because it's not permanent removal, but I think in this instance it's fine to take because they have to activate it at sorcery speed. They can't activate it during my turn. So 1 mana make them unable to use a creature or use activated abilities of another permanent's pretty good because that means they have to spend 3 mana on their turn to even get rid of it. So I don't want to see this late game. I'll probably want to see this in the earlier half of the game where I can shut down some problematic blocker or annoying attacker. We have Hunt for Specimens, Pillar Drop Rescuer, a Lash of Malice, and a Campus Guide. I think I'll take a Lash of Malice. Removal is king and limited. We got Study Break, Beaming Defiance, Defend the Campus, and Essence Infusion. How many instances of sorceries am I running right now? Only 3. I mean, if I want to be even more annoying, when they attempt to target Alan Shield Mage with an ability or spell, I can just give it hexproof on the stack, so they pay the 3 life, and then I just hexproof through it, so it could be a pretty annoying combat trick to deal with sometimes. So funny enough, building into this so far, that means I played all the white combinations and all the black combinations that are in this set. We got Campus and Crushing Disappointment. I think for the sake of fixing some of my lands, because there's some that require double white in here, I'll probably just take a Silverquill Campus. Access Tunnel is kind of I got ways of getting around the things that even do that in the first place. I'll just Cram Session for right now. That should be fine. Guiding Voice or Access Tunnel, probably a Guiding Voice. I'm not very fond of Access Tunnel. There's like in a deck that doesn't have as restrictive of mana symbols as mine has right now, it would probably be fine, but for the time being, this should be fine. Defend the Campus is good. I guess I'll take Thrilling Discovery in case I splash for Mardu and Dragon's Approach. Alright, we got the Witherbloom Dean and Weather the Storm as our 2 rares of this pack. We have another an Alan Shield Mage, Leech Fanatic, and Mage Hunter's Onslaught. I could pick up Valentine here, because Valentine on face is a 1-drop Menace Lifelinker that I can, whenever I kill creatures, just make sure they don't get any death triggers, and I can just make tokens if I have the mana to invest into it, so it's not necessarily the worst thing. Or I can pick up the Mage Hunter's Onslaught. I think in this case, this card can be kind of weak on the face, so I think I'm down with just taking a kill spell for 4. Solve the Equation, Stormkiln Artist, Cultivate. I don't really care too much about either of those. I think a Rite of Exodus is probably fine here. I also have 2 Learn cards. I got Cram Session and Guiding Voice, so it wouldn't be the craziest thing to even also pick up a Injunction of Annihilation here. I think I'll take Rite of Exodus, though, since I can get rid of problematic things in the graveyard. Ooh, we got Eye Twitch and Plum the Forbidden. I think my current setup right now, I don't think that Plum will be super good. I think in this regard, I'll probably just take an Eye Twitch because I don't have a lot of creatures to really work with it, and probably learning will be fine in this regard. Alright, Umbral Juke can make me a creature or make my opponent sacrifice a creature at instant speed, so I'll probably take that. I am pretty low on creatures right now, though, so probably packs going forward, I need to focus more on finding actual pressure on board, since Limited's pretty creature focused for the most part, since you don't have the consistency that you would have if you're playing Constructed. Pest Summoning's pretty good. Do I like it over Lash of Malice? Probably, because I can fetch this out of my sideboard. Yeah, I'll take a Pest Summoning here. We got a split-second destroy target artifact or enchantment that I can't play in my colors. I think here I'll probably be taking the Promising Dusk Mage to guarantee that I can get some creatures going forward. There's also the option of Inkling Summoning right here, which all in all might be fine because it's a 2/1 flying creature, which means I can get around a lot of the normal default blockers that'll exist in set. But I'll probably take the Dust Mage here because it has some better stats. Alright, we have Exhilarating Execution? I don't know how to exactly pronounce this card, but it seems okay, but I think I'll probably need Thunderous Orator in here so I can spread out my curve a little bit, since I'm pretty heavy on 3-drops right now and I don't want to add too many 4-drops in the instance that I get caught up in my curve being too much centered on the middle. Duress. This set is very heavy on instants and sorceries to combo off of Magecraft and some of the other cards, such as Lessons, so I can see Duress probably being the pick that I take for this pack, because it can do a lot for me in the long run. They can get some removal spells out of the way, some combat tricks, maybe even get the learn count out of the way so they lose the ability to even tutor from their lesson pile from their sideboard. So it can do a lot for us in the long run. We came back around and there's not really much for us to pick from this pack, so what would we not want to see going forward, or what would we want to take for doing other stuff? I think I'll probably just take a Fortifying Draught, because if I somehow in pack 3 find a way to position myself to take some green to splash into this for some Abzan action, I would probably take that, because I think there's some inherent life gain that I have here and there. Probably not a lot. Like, I have, like, Lifelink from here, Cram Session, Pest Summoning, so there's a few different things. We have the option of another Cram Session. We're still low on creatures, so I think I'll take Rescuer here. I don't think I care too much about Zephyr Boots. Ooh, Plum the Forbidden, Wield. At worst, it's a draw 1, lose 1 life, so I think I'll just take it because it can do a lot for us if we're able to get a wide board. I will take another Rescuer. I will take another Campus. I have the potential of being able to play this, and I guess I get a playable as my last card in the pack. Alright, we even got the Learn equipment that gives lifelink, which is pretty good. I think I'll take that. This card's pretty good. It basically replaces itself when you play it. You can just fetch from your sideboard, so I think I'll take the Poet's Quill. So far we have pseudo tempo removal, some hand disruption, and then some stuff we can fetch from the sideboard to give us some field presence or deal with problematic permanents. We got another eye twitch. And to revitalize. So it seems like we're pretty keen on the flyer department of things. I think grabbing another eye twitch should be fine here. This card will be able to do us a lot, and even if it dies, it'll be able to help us filter our hand, even if we can't tutor any more lessons out. Sign in Blood. Well, drawing 2 cards and losing 2 life for 2 black mana will be pretty good. I will take Sign in Blood. Ooh, we got Closing Statement and Inquisition of Kozilek. Well, this just lets us kill something and buff one of our own creatures, but I think Inquisition should be fine for the aggressive early game to set up for some of our later gameplays. I'm also more inclined to take this over Closing Statement because it doesn't seem like white-black is being very present right now because of the fact that we got Sign in Blood as well as Inquisition of Kozilek passed from us from the other side, so it seems like we're in a pretty good spot for that. We have a decent amount of +1/+1 counter synergy going on right now with some of our cards, so I think it's fine enough to take Tenured Inkcaster. Natural Order, sacrifice a green creature to search out a green creature. Well, that doesn't really do too much for us, but I think I'll tutor out another lesson that can remove problematic creatures. So our deck's looking pretty solid right now. We're a little high on the 1-drops here, but we have a good amount of learn cards and answers for stuff that we need to deal with regards to our lessons. We can deal with non-land permanents, including artifacts and enchantments. We can deal with creatures and planeswalkers. We can even bring out some more bodies. And that's pretty good for us for going forward from here, since most of our learn targets in this will allow us to, 1, get into our lessons, as well as curve out the lessons, since a lot of them are 1 and 2 drops. We got Eager First Year and Divine Gambit. Well, I think I'm still pretty low on creatures, so I think I'll take Eager First Year to attempt to just make sure I have enough bodies to go into the last stretch of things. Because I don't want to go into the last run of creatures going around and not be able to actually have things on board to pressure my opponent with, because I have plenty of flyers to do stuff with, but not necessarily able to end the game if I only have a flyer that can die to virtually anything they have in hand. I want to make sure I have some redundant flying threats like our Inklings, so we can summon some pests and some stuff lower end on the curve, so then when we get to our flying creatures, Orator can get like flying and some other abilities to help us get past other stuff going on. So we're down to the last, I think, few picks. Do I want to grab another Detention Vortex? I think 1 is fine. I don't think we need more than 1, and 2 Pillar Job Rescuers should be fine. I think with the +1/+1 counter synergies that I have going on right now, a Star Pupil should be fine. I could also take the Sunrise Spirit to give some other creatures flying, but I think Star Pupil should be fine here because I'm not doing that much stuff about filling in my graveyard, except for what's going on for the game progressing overall. So I think that should be fine, just going along the track of mine of just make sure I can play it and not worry about my deck actually being able to follow through. We got Fracture, Guiding Voice, and Stonerise Spirit. I think maybe the second time around I'll take the Stonerise Spirit. I'm more inclined to take it now rather than later. Revitalize is just a gain 3 life cantrip, so that's fine by me. Do I want a big creature to curve out, or do I want to give some more creatures flying that already don't have flying? I think I'll take the bigger creature here. Can only really play Beaming Defiance, so I'll play Beaming Defiance. Not really going to be able to play the Stonebound Mentor, so that's probably going to go on the sideboard. Another flyer and copy. Okie dokie. So probably just going to cut Fortifying Draught and the other cards I'm probably not going to be able to play. There is a line that I can play Returned Passkeeper as a way to get back earlier removal. The only problem that I have is that I don't really have the benefit of curving out into it super easily, so that's always a problem. So I think following that, I think I can work with probably just not worrying about it. I mean, it can get me back pillar drops, but then get me back some earlier curve plays, I guess. Because I do have a fair amount of spirits, so it's not the worst idea. It could be much worse, but I think it's fine for the most part. So I need to cut a fair amount of cards. I need to cut 12 cards. The 2 Silverquill campuses will help me deal with most of my white-black mana costs, and technically I only need 1 red to cast Return Passkeeper. It's just basically 3 red, white. So that's pretty good on that front. I guess the next question that comes into mind is what do I feel like I would be able to play and not be able to play? So I don't think my deck's playing a whole lot of creatures. So even at worst, this is just a draw 1, lose 1 life or 2. So it can cycle out. But in the case that I can play optimally, I would be able to play my Pest Summoning, sacrifice an Eye Twitch on top of it, draw 3 cards, virtually lose 1 life, and then be able to potentially set up some other plays from there. So that's not exactly the worst line in the world. Do I think Cram Session is worth it? I mean, I already have Eye Twitch, Guiding Voice, and I think there was one other learn card that I might be missing. Rite of Exodus as well. I think I have plenty of stuff on the low end of the curve to not have to really worry about playing a gain 4 learn. So I think I'll be fine in that regard. Probably need to keep Eager for Sheer Stonerise Spirit and Orator. I want to make sure I have enough low drop flying creatures so I can make my Orator basically a Vigilance flying creature. I can cut a Beaming Defiance. Do I think Vitalize will be better than a Sign in Blood and a Plume the Forbidden? Probably not, but if I can cantrip and trigger a bunch of Magecraft triggers, like, even though my Magecraft triggers are a little bit on the low end side of just being able to do stuff, being able to make my Eager First Year like a 4/2 or make the Silverquill Pledge Mage like a flying lifelinker is pretty good if I can cast 2 spells and then keep on going. So I think that is fine. You cut 10 cards. Let's probably cut... I'll probably cut a Stonerise Spirit. And for people that don't play Limited too much, usually on the curve of things, you want to make sure that you have a nice curve to make sure you can do what your deck's planning on doing. So in the long run of doing things, you probably want to make sure that like you have a fair amount of early cards so you can make sure you can play on the early end of things, but you also want to make sure that you don't have too many high end cards so that when you get to when you're in the early game, you don't find your early curve cards so you can do stuff early on, because that can end up punishing you in the later part of the game if you don't have stuff to stabilize. In regards to what I have some pretty good stuff to just defend my board or keep on drawing into some of the other stuff I'll probably need for the deck, so it's not necessarily the end of the world. need 8 more cuts, and I have 15 creatures, so probably more non-creatures. This learns, these two learn, and this learns. So I think that's fine. Rite of Exodus, even though it's on the upper end, is a 6 mana get rid of a creature that I need to deal with, so it should be fine. Sign in Blood over Revitalize. I mean, this can stabilize as well as draw the card, and then this draws us 2. I'll probably cut a Detention Vortex. It's probably not worth the slot compared to some of the other stuff that we have for removal in the long run, so I'll probably cut that. Do I need 2 Pillar Drop Rescuers? I mean, they are flying creatures, so it's not the end of the world. I think I'll just cut the Cogs Work Archivist, because I don't think it's going to do us too much, even when we cast it. It's just a 4/5 body. Need to make 6 more cuts. That will draw me at least a card, at most maybe 2 or 3 cards, which is pretty good. I think I'll probably cut on the Revitalize, because gaining 3 drawing a card's fine, but I can all... But then, because I think mana-wise, like, even though it's kind of restricted to get double black by turn 2, like, I'm probably not going to be playing this turn 2. I'd probably be playing this later on in the game, so I'll probably have the mana requirements to cast it when I need to cast it. So I think I'll toss and Revitalize. Okay, we still need a few more. At most, this dodges a removal spell and maybe makes us trade more advantageously. So I think they'll be fine to keep. This is sorcery speed, and then okay, that's instant speed. I don't think this deck is going to necessarily go very wide. Though this can destroy some creatures on the higher end of the curve, I think I'm pretty good about cutting this in regards to the other more efficient removal spells that I have that can potentially hit those creatures anyways. We'll see. I still have the opportunity in between games to switch between, so it's not necessarily the end of the world with regards to that. Let's just change the sleeve real quick. I'll probably go over to my Sword of Fire and Ice. Still need 4 more cuts. I'm probably not going to cut any more creatures, because even though I have some stuff in the sideboard that creates some creatures, I probably want to make sure that I can play all the things that I want, be able to have threats when I need them. So it's probably only going to be non-creatures from here on out. Probably going to keep Right for late game. Maybe it might be better at this point in time just get rid of the Beaming Defiance for the time being. I don't think there's a lot of creatures I really care about defending. Most of them, if they die, I probably just move on and just keep on trying to stack the board, so I think I'll just trade that. I convinced myself otherwise. I probably need to cut... Oh, I thought I had 13 creatures. Okay, I can cut 1 more creature. I can probably cut a Rescuer, trim my top end a little bit. And then probably from here I want to trim some stuff on the low end of the curve to kind of balance everything out. This only puts a +1/+1 counter and gets another card, so it's kind of eh. Since I have stuff like I bat, but then the +1/+1 counter can make my flyers a little bit more annoying to deal with, but I think in regards to this, Star People kind of does a similar thing. So 1 more cut, probably going to be a non-creature. I think in regards to everything that I have, I think that... Okay, so... That just it basically reads give 2 counters to a creature and your other creatures can get slightly bigger, but I don't know how big my field will be at that point in time, so... There's also the option here that I can ditch a duress with regards to, since I have Inquisition, but having both might be useful in the later part in the game. But also then again, usually in the later part of the game, in Limited, usually people have no cards in hand, so discard spells kind of lose their value as you go longer into the game. So maybe thinking about it in that regards, I'll probably cut duress. And just try and keep the Inquisition if I can maybe hit something in their hand early on. Alright, I think I'm good with this list. So, let's start her up now. Whoa. I think considering that's a new set, yeah, it probably shouldn't take me that long to find someone. I know that you probably can't hear it on the other side, but on my side, there's some weird audio bugs going on right now. I'm getting like a slight reverb from my side. Hello. Play an eye twitch now, and then probably play a Poet's Quill turn 2. Yeah, this should be fine. Probably for the sake of my ears, I'm probably going to turn the master volume off. This is probably the line that I take for it to be not as bad, but I think also with regards to everything that I have in my hand, I think I might just ditch a card to draw another card, yeah. That worked out better in the long run with regards to being able to play this more efficiently. Ooh, we can even play Sign of Blood right now if we want to, but I think that for right now they have 3 mana available to them. I think I'll equip my Eye Twitch and see if I can get anything out of them. No? Because now if I start swinging, I have the benefit of... I basically nullify the damage that Historian does. I'll be gaining 2 every time that I swing with this creature now. But I think they're gonna bury and book my Eye Twitch. Okay. That's interesting. Ooh, that's a problem I'm gonna have to deal with. So they virtually cantrip out of all their spells while Archmage is on the field. Well, specifically instants and sorceries, so... What are the downsides of blocking here? If I block here, I don't have the benefit of being able to attack and lifelink next turn. I think I'll just take the 4. Just so you go. Alright. So... probably what I'm going to do here is probably equipped onto Thunderous Orator, because it's going to get flying as well as lifelink, but I think they're probably going to kill in response, yeah. Oh, well, I guess we force the hand on the removal spell here. If I'm able to get the Combat Professor down, it should be fine. Is there a need to block here? No, I think I'm still fine to just keep my creature up to attempt to get past stuff. Ew. That's not very good. I'm probably going to have to deploy another creature and just hold back. Because this Ardent Dust Speaker is going to do a lot for just letting them go through their deck a lot faster. This game's probably going to be done and over with. Because they're already at 7 cards and they're already up on mana even though we were on the play. But sometimes it'd be like that. If they decide to swing here, I'm probably inclined to double block Archmage so I can attempt to dissuade their extra value that they're getting off of off of it, because they're just going to keep on drawing a million cards if this thing survives any longer than it already has. Okay, they're not going to swing with Archmage. They got 2 lands off of their Death Speaker. I think I just block the Illustrious Historian here and learn. I think I will get a Pest Summoning here. So I'm at 4 mana now. My creatures that I would be able to cast right now can't efficiently block, but I think that getting down my Pest Summoning and an Eye Twitch should be fine. That'll allow me to at least efficiently block right here. Is it free to attack? They have lethal on board, but I do have the ability to block 2 creatures, so I guess in the event that I don't want to potentially get blown out by double removal, I think it would be better inclined to just hold back. And then hope that next turn I can plumb the Forbidden my 2 pests to then draw 3 cards and attempt to stabilize. It's not going to be super easy though, because they're probably going to start getting rid of cards that I have. Oh, they're going to steal my flyer? Okay. Just going to shuffle it back in. Oh, they got 2 Archmages in their draft? Wow, they're pretty lucky. Now that wheeled around. I guess someone got like a pretty bomb mythic in one of their packs that was a Mystical Archive. Alright, we got a 5th land here. I can put a +1/+1 counter on my Eye Twitch and attempt to keep that going. I need to get creatures on board, so this is probably the route I'm going for. And swinging like this will nullify the damage that Spirit does. Oh, I mean, Befuddler makes this attack a little worse. But is that lethal on board now? If they kill one of my creatures, I just lose here, I guess. So I guess we'll kind of work with what we get here, because they can just give one of the bigger creatures flying, and they have enough mana to make everything that is relevant flying. Okay, I don't necessarily die with this attack though. If I block like this, I'll survive with 1. Unless they have a sorcery speed burn spell. Because I have that, there's that 3 mana red card that can deal 3 damage to any target. Okay, they don't have it. Knowing that they don't have that card available to them, is there any more reason now to... I mean, if I want to keep them from keeping their card advantage as they have it right now, I'm inclined to just remove Ardent Dust Speaker now. And then hope that if I draw 1 more land next turn, I can Combat Professor into equipping Poet's Quill onto Eye Twitch, so I can start swinging for 3 with... Actually 4 with Lifelink and Vigilance. Are they going to spend their 5 mana now to make a 3/2 Spirit? I wonder what they're checking their graveyard for. Are they going to attempt to cast 2 creatures and be a little more threatening on that axis? I guess we shall see. Because they have the option of playing this, which it seems like that's what they're inclined to based on what they're hovering. Oh, Luca is going to bring something back, is it? If they're going to bring back anything with this, they're probably going to bring back a Dust Speaker. That'd make the most sense. It's the most mana efficient play to do with regards to what they have, and they can do this a second time. They're doing Befuddler instead. That's interesting. Okay, in this context, I think I'm inclined to get rid of Sign in Blood since I can't use it anymore. Ooh, that's pretty good. Ooh, that is very good. So now I can hold up a Lash of Malice when they attempt to swing in with 2 creatures. So it's not the worst thing. Expressive Iteration, you put 1 in hand. Okay, so you look at the top 3, you basically get 1 to hand and 1 to pseudo hand and the on the bottom. Okay. Hopefully they don't hit any removal, because then I just actually die. Electrolyze. Yeah, I'm dead then. Alright. So, kind of a subpar opening, considering that I only saw 5 of my lands and just wasn't able to do anything with my draw spells for the longest time. After that game, I'm inclined now to maybe drop the Exodus for maybe something a little more mana efficient and probably grab my Revitalize again. I have cheap enough removal spells that I might be able to just get around the things I need to get around, that the right might not even be needed. Alright, we got Eye Twitch, Sign in Blood. So considering the fact that I have 2 of them in hand, I'm inclined to keep, because I can swamp Silverquill Campus into another Eye Twitch and then Sign in Blood on turn 3 to guarantee that I can get the lands I need. Or I can just draw the lands I need. Play the Campus so I can have double black, play another Eye Twitch, and start swinging. So they've only played 4 so far, so I don't know exactly what they're playing yet, because I don't think in this set it's very advantageous to play only 1 color. Okay, so they're playing 2... we got Lash on curve. That's pretty good. Only problem is that if I Lash here, they won't be able to... I won't be able to cast Sign in Blood. So I think I'll hold off on this for 1 turn, because this isn't problematic until they get to like 5 mana. So I think I will Sign in Blood now. Okay, we got some more threats. So now I can use all my mana to cast Combat Professor or Silverquill Pledge Mage and then Lash of Malice. I even have the option of playing the Pledge Mage, holding the Lash of Malice, and then the turn afterwards double spelling into Combat Professor and Lash of Malice to make sure that Silverquill can actually benefit from its Magecraft trigger. Professor of Zoology. Alright, I guess I'm just taking 2 that I'm... Oh, they're not gonna swing with it? Okay. So I think I'm inclined to hold up the Lash of Malice and just continue swinging with my Eye Twitches. Alright. It's not looking too bad. Okay, that was a reach creature, which is good, because I want to be attacking with this deck rather than just holding back. But this Professor of Zoology is going to be doing some hefty damage. But I have the option that when I play Combat Professor, I can drop down Combat Professor, and give Silverquill Pledge Mage Vigilance, and then Lash get rid of the Dean of Substance, so then it can get Flying, and then swing for 6 altogether Flying, and then hold the 3/1 to block the Professor of Zoology. Alright, they're going to swing with the 4/3. I'm inclined to not block here. I will take the 4 and go to 14. Alright, they got a Weatherbloom Pledge Mage. That is not going to be fun to deal with. That is a big body. Ooh, we can Mage Hunter's Onslaught the Pledge Mage and then get rid of the Dean. I won't be able to play Combat Professor in this turn, but I would be able to double spell, get rid of 2 problematic creatures, and then be able to keep on hitting face for a decent amount. I think I'm inclined to do that, because this is going to make my 1/1s look pretty silly. I will give my Pledge Mage Flying. I will then Lash a Mouse also to get the other benefit and give it Lifelink. And we'll get Lifelink. I guess they're going to tap to see if they can maybe get a land off the top. Nope. So they're buried in the books is now essentially just another card in exile. Alright, looking pretty good so far. I can now next turn put down Combat Professor and then swing with my eye twitches and keep one of them behind to block. Even if I draw a spell, I can even play Combat Professor and get Silverquill in as well. Alright, they got 1/1 flyers with the 1/1 flyer with Death Touch. It's not really a problem for me, because probably what it would be blocking is really not much of anything. Put down a Swamp, play Combat Professor. They're gonna Memory Lapse it? That sucks. I guess I'll swing with my 2 eye twitches and keep it going. Okay, they're gonna let the damage go through? Okay. I'll just hold back the Pledge Mage so I can block the Professor of Zoology now. So they have 6 mana available to them. And some pretty decently sized creatures, but I guess if they fight, return permanent to hand, return permanent from graveyard to hand. Okay. So I'm probably just going to play Combat Professor, play Pledge Mage, swing for 3. I think probably what's also going to happen is that they're probably going to play the other half of this and play it as the flying creature to dissuade me from attacking in the air. Yep. That's what I thought was going to happen. Alright, so they can take stuff that they have that is already in here, study counters, and attempt to do stuff with them. Okay, they're going to attack with that. I'm inclined here to block with the eye twitch to get something, to get one of my sideboard cards. So I think here is probably going to be a reduce to memory. So play my Owlin Shield Mage and get rid of their annoying flying creature. This will get flying as well. If I'm going to give anything vigilance, it's going to be this. And then I'll swing with these 2. Yep, that's fine. So now I guarantee that I have lethal next turn. I can just block with eye twitch. So, yep. Yep, keeping those really annoying attackers with avoidance on board and helps me push through even their 4/3 creature without having to really interact with it. Alright, Combat Professor doing work. I think that's probably one of the best white commons in the set, because it's able to just... One, it's an inherent flying body, and it can even make itself a 3/3 with flying and vigilance, which is two of the really strong keywords you can have in limited. Being able to attack with evasion as well as be able to block is really strong. Re-raise. Oh, we finally see our Umbral Juke. That's nice. And we got D-Spark this go around, so we got virtually 3 removal spells and 2 creatures. I think I'm probably inclined to play first year because it'll tempo better with some of the other cards that I have available to me. Yeah. This doesn't have reach, but this only does 1 damage. Yeah, I'll play an eager first year and say go. Playing Teamer. Spectacle Mage. Okay. I can play this at instant speed to pump it up. So... I think I'll just get down Stonerise Spirit. I'll probably be taking 2 next turn, but... not really much I can do about that. And this Spectacle Mage is probably going to do us something dirty, because it makes all their 5 and higher drops into 1 less, so they can potentially play a 5-cost instant or sorcery right now, which would not be very good. Yeah, I'll take my 2. Okay, Inquisition here isn't that bad. We could potentially get something that's pretty annoying out of their hand, and I can still hold D-Spark off to get rid of the Professor. Let me Inquisition you. What do you got for me? Anything I can take from hand? Ooh, Quandrix Command is really good to get out of here. Goodbye. So we have the option now to swing. I think I'm inclined to swing here. If they attempt to block with the Overgrown Arch, I can just on the backswing make a creature and then kill that and have something to block the 2/2 flying. Alright, cool. So in this regard, I probably want to hold the D-Spark up for the 3/3 that keeps on giving counters to things when they cast stuff, so I think I'm inclined here to make another flyer to block Spectacle Mage. Alright, we got the blocker on the ground out of the way, and we can take care of their Spectacle Mage as well. They're gonna swing everything. I'll get their flyer out of the way. We got Oriator. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I just fucked up really hard. I should have waited, attacked, and saw what they did. Because now I can't pump Eager first year. They just saw the priority just passed. Oh well. These are the things you gotta remember. So if I get 1 more mana next turn, I can hold up both of the... I can kill their Professor Azumancy. And then probably go from there. I can see them inclined to swing everything right now. They might not be inclined to swing all, but yeah, that's fine. I'm taking 8 as is. If they have big play, which will give +2/+2 and a +1/+1 counter, that can potentially blow me out here by just flat out killing me if I don't block. But I think I won't be winning if I block here, so I think I'll just take it and go to 5. Yeah, I'll be going to 5 here. They're gonna opt. That's not good. Cantrips are bad. Buff the professor or buff the pest? Buff the pest. Okay. If they cantrip into something else they can cast, I could potentially just lose the game right now. Nope, I don't lose the game, so it's probably something at sorcery speed. Or is another land that can scry? Okay. Okay, that's not the worst thing that could happen. So probably just gonna get rid of the Wrangler now. And then swing with the Orator since I'll get flying. Alright. So from this point, I can kill the pest. I can kill the pest and then block the 4/3 and go from there. Which I think that's what they're gonna attempt to swing with both. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna block Eager First Year here. I'm gonna attempt to lash this. Okay, it resolves. I get rid of both of their creatures. Okay, that's good. I'm still gonna have to deal with this Pledge Mage though, and they can start scrying. So alright, we got more flyers. It's pretty good. I can now swing with both of these, because now this can sit back and block. Alright. We're kind of stabilized now. We just need to dodge some instants and sorceries, and hopefully they don't have any burn spells I need to deal with. But I can consistently now swing for 4 damage a turn and keep a creature back. And this can only attack when when instant or sorcery has been cast. Otherwise, it is a 3/3 defender on the ground. Oh, do they have that 3 mana card that was played on us last game? The yeah, Aether Helix. Okay. Well, I'm kind of inclined to take this, considering that I will probably just die either way if I block it, so just redeploy iTwitch, swing again. So they'll probably just take their turn playing the Professor of Zoomancy. They potentially have something else that they could also cast, but I'm kind of inclined that I have to work with the fact that if I die, I die, but it doesn't seem like I'm in the worst spot right now. If they have another Aether Helix, that would be pretty bad. Wait, this is 5 mana? Oh, I thought this was less. I thought that was like 3 mana. My eyes are clearly failing me right now. Are they going to attempt to fight here? Do they have Mage Duel? Divide by 0. Well, I guess I will despark that in response. And they get to learn from that? Oh, they get to elemental summon off of that? That's not good. Yeah, I have to block that now. And then this upcoming turn I'm going to have to block 2 anyways, so... Now we're on the back foot again. Short-lived. Yep. Take a 4/4. I'm gonna swing both. That seems pretty dumb. Yeah. I will learn here. I think I need to grab Pest Summoning here. What do they have on board? They have a 4/4. Yeah, I need to get Pest Summoning here. Get some bodies on board. We got Rescuer here. That's pretty good. That can get us back. That can get us back Eye Twitch so we can learn again off of trading. If they have a fight spell, we lose. Yep, that's game. Not much I can do there. I think my line there was still fine. I guess, under the line that they drew the burn spell or the removal, that I could have played Pest Summoning instead, and then I would have been able to not die that turn, because then the Pest wasn't lethal and I could have double blocked, but I think I would have just been dead off of most of what they would have drawn if they didn't just keep on drawing lands. So, kind of just is what it is. I mean, I have something I can play for the next 2 turns, but if I don't draw a white, I'm not doing anything else in this hand. I think I'm inclined to mulligan. Well, I can play everything in this hand except for Inquisition. I might as well keep, and because I can't play Inquisition now, I'm inclined to bottom it. But there's also the problem that if I do bottom this right now, that when it comes up it might not be useful, but I think I'm still inclined to keep the playables and ditch the non-playable. Salmon nudes. Sorry man, that's not very Twitch friendly. I can't do that. The classic 0/4 again. I think I'm inclined here just to play my flyer and say go, since attacking with the 1/1's not going to get me anything except for sad. Untap target permanent, tap target permanent. You can only tap if you have 8 or more lands. I think I'll just swing with my Stoneray Spirit. And then I'll just gain it back, but at least they're not gaining life and out-tempoing me that way. So, could be worse. Hopefully I can hit double black here so I can have Mage Hunter's Onslaught. We'll see. Generic 2/4. Okay. Swing with the 2/2? Nope. I'm gonna keep it up. Okay, that's fine by me, because now I can start swinging with my flyers and still block. So probably just gonna target Stoneray Spirit here and just start swinging. Yep. So now they're gonna start getting 2 life. Oh, are they going to learn off of this? Oh, they're going to curate. Oh, that can untap another target permanent. Oh, I didn't know that can untap lands. That's pretty good. I don't know if anyone is watching right now, but if you are, just let me know if you're here, because with no activity in chat, it's kind of hard to distinguish if there is someone here or not. They got letter of acceptance. I think I'm inclined here to just get rid of the creature I need to get rid of right now, which would be the crocodile. Yeah, it's crocodile. Okay. I'm inclined to make this a 4/2 of vigilance. And just swing these 4. So that's 7 damage going at them. They could choose to block with the arch and then sacrifice it, because they have the mana to sacrifice it. They can also block, defend, gain life, and then learn on top of that. Arcane Subtraction. That sucks. Oh, they just don't even decide to... They didn't even decide to block it? That's super weird. Why wouldn't you block it there? I feel like that would be so much in your favor. You could have just blocked and gotten rid of it. It might have been a misclick, I guess. They're probably gonna... yeah. Makes sense. Not inclined to swing. Okay. So now I have 2 cards in graveyard. I can Lash here, since it's probably going to be the only thing it's going to be able to hit, since it'll kill all my own creatures. I think I'm inclined now to use the Stone Ray Spirit to kind of get around the Overgrown Arch. Okay. I will use its ability to give this flying. Getting rid of Mage's Onslaught. Oh, hi Beasley. You a wooing in my chat? How could you? This is a very not woo-woo set. No, please. It's fine. Just, well, that's a 6/6. I'm inclined to fly over it for the time being and just kind of cry that it exists. No, my flyer was mitigated by a simple tap my creature. Wait, he didn't swing with his 6/6? What? That's super weird. Okay. Fine by me. You sit there and do whatever that is that you're doing. I will attempt to do some damage here. Whoop. Just flying on over. So they're probably gonna either scry and or learn. They kind of can just do whatever they want to. Practical research. Ew. Bro, don't do that. I don't want you drawing a million cards. That sounds minus. Me with my measly swamp against all the cards in their hand. Okay, they got Cultivate. I see they were handicapped this entire time and not able to actually play everything that they wanted to. I'm ready to get hit by all of the burn effects and or red creatures now. Another Kelpie. They're still not attacking? What are they... What is going on? I'm so confused. They're not attacking here when they have a 6/6. I should have been dead a long time ago. I'm kind of awed by the fact that they are not attacking here. It is very interesting. Yep, gonna gain life. Yup. No, not a 1/5. No, I want to attack in the air. Stop. Why you harass me like this? Well, I don't really have the opportunity to really attack now. Good game. No. I'm gonna swing like this and be cool. Get my 2/2 flying and vigilance and feel like I can do something. Oh, they're gonna invocation me again next turn, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That makes me sad. Just gain 2 life a turn, I'll sit here and be sad. Whoop. Back to 16. Well, that sucks. It's like 2 teamer decks and I just kind of got blown out. Oh, and that... all the creatures that I wasn't really thinking about that I would have to start dealing with, and they're just going to make me sit here and draw through my deck now. I'm really confused as to why they're not letting me die. I guess they want me to die on their terms by doing some ridiculous combo play or something. Okay, they got a 1/1 with flying and death touch. Are they gonna swing? No. Okay. Pillar drop. I'm inclined to just swing with eye twitch here and get one of my sideboard cards, get another one of my sideboard cards. Oh, they just even let it through. Well, that's interesting. I'm just gonna hold this in hand until I want to get something back. Stab. If you want me to die, just let me die, please. Stop holding me hostage, please. Ooh. Biomathematician, okay. Now he's inclined to start swinging with it? Okay. Okie dokie. I will block with Star Pupil, because it's just going to sit here and look pretty. Good job. Proud of you. You're the real ace of class. Put 2 counters on a creature. My other creatures get +1/+1, and it's at sorcery speed. Is this worth even casting right now? If I put 2 counters on Eager first year, and then it triggers afterwards, it goes to a 6/5. But they have a 1/1 with Death Touch that I need to worry about. I'm going to attempt to swing with Eye Twitch and go on with my life. Woo! Just thought it would be cool. Gonna start putting stuff on the bottom of their graveyard so they don't deck out either. Okay. I feel like I'm actually just being bullied. They're just bullying me with their time. I'm pretty much inclined, if I don't draw removal in the next turn or so, then I'm probably just gonna scoop it up. If I can at least get rid of the 4/5 right here, I have the chance to do something here. Alright, they're swinging with the 8/8. I will block here with the card that lets me draw a card. Let's draw removal. I mean, scrying something off the top's also nice. Okay, it's not the worst. So I can learn off of this. Okay. Damn, bro, that's kind of aggressive, but alright. Probably fumes right here. Probably just get back my, my Dusk Mage here. Or I can get Orator. Does it really matter when I get back here? Yeah, not really. Oh. I'm just gonna sit back, relax, have a beer, and let them do what they want to do. Oh. No, stop. I feel like they're playing through their deck and then they're just putting their deck back together again. Alright, they got 9 power in total from just their fractals. They're deciding to learn today. What are they gonna learn today? Containment breach. Road. I worked hard to make that a Poet's Quill. Swinging with Biomath Petition. Okay. Why are they so inclined not to block? I'm so confused. Like, they have the attack. I don't know why they won't take it. I guess I just fume here. If I'm thinking about the most annoying thing they'll have to deal with, it's probably the Archivist. I can probably block the Fractal for a little bit longer. But I just want to make sure I can get around stuff. I'm gonna have to leave in a sec here, so I'm probably gonna have to just scoop it up. This is rather just frustrating to sit here and just be like, yup. Yeah, I'm just gonna save myself time. This game's gone on for long enough. I don't think there's a way I'm coming back from their board state. All right, you have fun with that. Ugh. Well, this deck was kind of a bust. I didn't see my draw spells in the last game and wasn't really able to do anything with regards to actually killing their creatures. I think the funniest thing about all the games so far is that I saw Spiteful Squad one game, and then I immediately had to ditch the hand because it wasn't playable. But besides that, the deck felt okay, probably more on the weak side because it was mostly +1/+1 counter synergy, and I was playing a lot of flyers, so they didn't have inherently a lot of power. But I think I think that overall wasn't the worst. It could have been much worse than that. So I think with that, I'll so for regards to the recording, if you like what you saw here, leave a follow, and if you're watching over on YouTube, leave a subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you around.